All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another meeting of the Inkster City Council. The time is now 7 p.m., Monday, October the 4th, 2021. I'd like to call this meeting to order by having prayer first and foremost by Pastor Porter from Champion Church. We will stand with that, and then we will remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pastor Porter. If we can unmute him, I did see him online.
Amen. Well, good evening, everyone. And first, I would like to thank God for our Mayor, Patrick Wembley, for this opportunity for invocation and to pray for our city. Let's pray. Father, in the name of Jesus the Christ, we thank you now for this opportunity, this time to come before your presence. You said to enter into your gates with thanksgiving and in your courts with praise and be thankful and bless your name. We thank you for all that you've done, all that you will continue to do. Father, we posture ourselves tonight as we handle the business of our city. We ask for wisdom. Wisdom is the principal thing. And Father, we ask as we get wisdom tonight, we ask that you would also release to us understanding. We trust your word tonight, and we give you permission, Father, tonight to make Inkster, our city, a testimony of the goodness of God. We ask that you would do a new thing according to Isaiah 43. We will not remember and ponder over the former things. We will let the past go. We will listen carefully because we understand in this season you will do a new thing. You will spring forth. You will even make rivers in the desert area, and you will put roads in wilderness. And so we thank you now for our city council members. We thank you for those that support our mayor. We thank you for Reverend Williams. We thank you for Legina Washington. We thank you for Sandra Watley. We thank you for Steve Christian. We thank you for Kim Howard, and we thank you for Denard Shaw. We ask that you would allow them to support our mayor, to support our residents of our city like never before. Now, Father, as we go forth and handle the business of our city, we give you permission to do something great and mighty for us. For we know that the weapons of our warfare, they are not carnal, but they are mighty through God to the pulling down the strongholds and casting down every imagination and every high thing that would exalt itself against the knowledge of God. And so we trust you even now, Father God, to do something awesome on our behalf. And we'll give your name the glory, the honor, and the praise. In the name of Jesus the Christ, we thank you. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor Porter. Troy, please, Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Right into roll call, please, City Clerk.
Yes. Mayor Wembley.
Here reporting from Inkster City Hall.
Mayor Pro Tem Howard.
Yes, present in my home in the city of Inkster.
Councilman Williams.
Present here at my home in the city of Inkster, Wayne County.
Councilwoman Washington.
Here, reporting virtually from my home in the city of Inkster, County of Wayne.
Councilwoman Watley.
Yes, appearing remotely from my home in Inkster, Michigan, County of Wayne.
Councilman Chisholm.
Present, reporting virtually from my home in Inkster, Michigan, County of Wayne.
And Councilmember Shaw.
I'm here, I'm reporting virtually from my home in Inkster, Michigan.
Okay, we have a quorum. Everyone is present.
All right, awesome, moving right along. Closed session, already passed, presentation, consent agenda, please. Consent agenda, what's your pleasure?
So move, Mr. Chair, with the necessary corrections.
Is there support?
Or
Roll call, please, city clerk.
And this is the approval of the agenda, correct?
Let's see here. Oh, sorry about that. Agenda, thank you.
Councilman Shaw,
Yes.
Councilman Chisholm,
Yes.
Councilwoman Watley,
Yes.
Councilwoman Washington,
Yes.
Councilman Williams,
yes,
Mayor Pro Tem Howard.
yes,
Okay, there's 6 yeses.
Motion carried. Moving right into presentation, public hearing, consent agenda. What's your pleasure?
so move,
Your support?
or
Moved and properly supported. Roll call, please, city clerk.
Councilman Chisholm,
No.
Councilwoman Watley,
No.
Councilwoman Washington,
Yes.
Councilman Williams,
yes,
Mayor Pro Tem Howard,
yes,
and Councilman Shaw.
Yes.
There are 4 yeas and 2 nays.
Motion carries. Moving into boards and commission. Any boards and commission?
Mr. Chair, I was just looking at some of the boards and commissions. I know that this may be an old list that we have here. I see the date on here, but is that vacancy filled for that agent on commission on aging?
Looks like everybody's been updated. I know we did update everybody that was there. Unless you wanna nominate someone?
No, I just want to make sure because I got the copy from May 17th, so it has been updated, right?
That's what it looks like here. I'm looking at it.
Okay, I mean, because I'm looking at a different copy. I'm looking at the ones printed out opposed to the one that's online. So, okay, all right. I didn't see that on.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the printed copy as well too, Councilman, so I don't know what you're referring to. I see the vacant spot there.
Yeah. So is I know Mr. Williams supposed to be on there. I mean, Councilman Williams supposed to be on there. So is he
There you
on?
go. There you go, where you call it out. So that vacant spot's supposed to be Timothy Williams. Is that what you're saying? All right then. So let's duly noted. City clerk, make sure that we make that adjustment on there for us, please.
So I don't know if he came in to be sworn in or not.
He has.
Okay, all right, very good.
Yes.
Very good. Very good.
So let's just make that update on the actual commission.
We are working diligently on this list, so any input that you have will certainly put us on the right direction. Thank you.
That's perfect. Anyone else? And just to the general public, and I know some of the Inkster housing commissioners are on tonight. I've had several people that have stepped forward in interest to be appointed to the housing commission. I'm not taking that position lightly as it relates to the appointment of that position and bringing that person before council. So know that I am working on that to make sure that we have the right fit as we move and continue to move forward with the housing commission. I'm just looking at the housing commission here. We do need to talk, city clerk, just about a couple of updates that we need to make sure that we get into here as well.
Much appreciated.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Moving into previous business.
Okay. 7A is to approve acceptance of bid proposal to sell one parcel of commercial property located at 26156 Michigan Avenue on the north side of Michigan Avenue between Franklin Drive and Heatherwood Drive in the amount of $25,000 to AAHM LLC and for that purposes of development.
What's your pleasure?
So move, Mr. Chair.
Your support?
Support.
Discussion?
Discussion, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, Councilman Chisholm.
Wasn't this a tabled item from the last meeting?
We need to take it off the table.
Yep. Is this a vote to take it off the table or is this a vote to approve?
That is correct. It should be taken off the table.
That's what I thought it was.
Okay, so let's just hold previous business to remove it from the table. Make of the motion is to remove it from the table.
So move.
Okay,
Support.
support on that discussion.
Yes.
Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Watley,
Yes.
Councilwoman Washington,
Yes.
Councilman Williams,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem
Yes,
Howard,
yes,
Councilman Shaw,
Yes.
and Councilman Chisholm.
Yes.
Next item. Approve acceptance of bid proposal to sell commercial property located on the south side of South River Park between West and Inkster Road.
Let's, hold on one second. Just for point of order, that item A has been removed from the table, so now we can actually have some action on it. So,
Correct.
all right, so let's stay with item A. We removed it from the table. Is there a motion on that action item?
So move, Mr. Chair.
With support.
Support.
All right, it's been moved and properly supported. Discussion, please. Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Watley, Councilwoman Watley,
Yes.
Councilwoman Washington,
Yes.
Councilman Williams,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Howard,
yes,
Councilman Shaw,
Yes.
Councilman Chisholm.
Yes.
Okay, there's 6 yeses and no nays.
All right, motion carries. Item B is to be removed from the table. So go ahead, City Clerk.
Did we have a motion?
I'll just read it out and then we'll make the motion. But it's to be removed from
Approve
the table.
acceptance of bid proposal to sell commercial property located on the south side of South River Park between West and Inkster Road. The ice arena and parking lot in front of the arena in the amount of $200,000 to AAHM LLC for the purposes of building an indoor sports complex.
What's your pleasure?
So move, Mr. Chair.
Is there support?
Support.
Any discussion about removing it from the table? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Washington,
Yes.
Councilman Williams,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Howard, Mayor Pro Tem Howard,
yes,
Councilman Shaw,
Yes.
Councilman Chisholm,
Yes.
Councilwoman Watley.
Yes.
That's 6 yeses, no nays.
All right. Moving right into the action item. Is there a motion?
I make a motion that we accept the $300,000 offer that was proposed for this property. I know at the last council meeting, we all discussed, I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to be discussing right now, but I make a motion that we accept the $300,000 offer for item 7B.
That's not, unfortunately, Councilman Chisholm, that was just for information. The
Oh.
$300,000 offer didn't, I'll let the city clerk explain.
Okay.
City clerk.
The $300,000 offer was not a complete bid. And so it was denied. The pieces that were asked for specifically in the proposal were not addressed by the bidder.
So we gave you the information so you would have, everyone that put a proposal in, but at the same time too, with that matrix that you see in your packet, what was completed and what was not completed. And as you can see from the 300,000 offer, it fell really short.
Okie dokie. Well, I retract my motion.
All right, is there support for what's on the table?
Support. I mean,
Well, actually, it's a motion. for
Motion.
what's on the table.
Yeah.
I apologize. Go ahead, Councilman.
so move, Mr. Chair.
Is there support?
Or
Discussion. Hearing none, roll call, please.
Oh, I had a quick question.
Mayor,
Oh, go
excuse
ahead.
me.
Council, let's go with Councilman Chisholm first and then Councilwoman Wiley. Go ahead, Councilman Chisholm.
Oh, sorry about that. All right. I was also looking at that and I just kind of got a little slightly confused. And if I guess the assessor is on the line, I know he
Yeah.
wasn't on earlier, just to explain the difference between the $279,930 fair market value versus the assessed value of being $139,965.
Yeah, he is on the line. I wanted to make sure that he was on the line tonight to speak to that. And then to speak to Marwan, if you could, please, just also speak to the location of the property as it relates to Michigan Avenue versus South River.
Sure. Hello, everyone. So the 279,930 value, that's the fair market value. And if you divide that by 2, 50% of that would equal the assessed value. So, and considering that the ice arena is not located on Michigan Avenue, which is prime real estate, that also drives the value down slightly, which results in which is why we gave it a $10 per square foot value. Not sure if there's anything else that I didn't answer.
I didn't catch the value that you gave the ice arena.
Sure, the fair market value is right around a little less than 280,000 is what we're saying it's worth as of today. In its current condition.
All right, just for, of course, Robert Rules of Order, Councilman Chisholm, you had the floor. Was your question answered?
Yes, I was just asking the difference between the fair market value and the assessed value, and he said divided by 2 is what equals that amount. So yes, thank you.
You're welcome. And also too, just also Marwan, as it relates to the taxable amount on this property, once it's added to the tax roll, if we move forward with this, what's that amount for the general public?
So right now, if it was to be taxed as of today, the taxes would be a little less than $12,000 for the year. And obviously it's, as you know, per the condition it's in right now, but once it's remodeled and refurbished, that value can easily, increase by 50 to 100% based on its condition. Obviously, we'll have to, figure out what the value would be once it's completed. But it's definitely it will definitely go up because right now it's based on a partial value currently.
All right, Councilwoman Wiley.
Yes, two things. first of all, he said he put they decided to put the $10 value per per area. Is that something that's arbitrarily done, or is there a formula that is utilized?
Yeah, great question, Councilman Wiley. So basically, that is based on a mass appraisal type of scenario. We don't individually appraise properties. So we did find a few comps, but they weren't very comparable. We did find an ice arena that sold for about $20 a foot, but that's in working condition. And it's in the city of Holland. And then we also found a warehouse building, similar square footage, which was about $24 a foot. And obviously, it was also in operating condition. So with all the factors and also the location of the property and the condition of the property, we're using a $10 per square foot as a fair market value for this subject property.
Okay, and also you said that the condition it's in, aren't they tearing it down and putting something else in there? Or is that not?
That I don't know. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, Marwan. I can speak to that, Councilwoman Wiley. So they're tearing down the first property, which is the property on Michigan Avenue with the Heatherwood and putting a family restaurant there. And then this particular proposal is to refurbish the ice arena into a sports arena. So they'll be renovating the space.
Okay, and my last question is in reference to the information you sent out for tax purposes. That I could not open that email, so I'm unaware of what we are talking about.
Yeah, that was it was the email that was sent out to us as it relates to the developer's personal property taxes from one of his businesses that he owns, which is First Choice Windows here in the city of Inkster, that we all know that relocated out of the city of Inkster about almost a year ago. So that was for his personal property taxes that was excess for $69,000, but he went on and paid those. So that was the receipt for that.
But we're unable to see it.
Well, I sent it to everyone.
I understand that.
What-
If you notice, Councilman Chisholm sent back an email saying that that wasn't something that we can open on our device. However, it was sent.
Oh, I didn't see that email. I apologize. But yeah. Yeah, that was just proof that it was paid. And that was his personal property taxes, just on the equipment that's inside of the.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Any other questions? Hearing none, roll call, please, City Clerk.
Councilman Williams,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Howard,
Yes.
Councilman Shaw,
Yes.
Councilman Chisholm,
Yes.
and Councilwoman Watley,
No.
Councilwoman Washington.
Yes.
The vote is 5-1.
All right, motion carries. Moving into new business, please.
The first one is to consider approval for a special event permit for a spiritual prayer walk. The Black Men's Prayer Walk on October 23rd, 2021. We did receive approvals from the necessary department.
So
And
move.
just the general public, okay, I'm sorry, go ahead. It's been moved. Is it support?
For
All right, and just for the general public, City Clerk, where is this being proposed to happen and what time?
1 second, please. Almost there.
Okay, I got the time of the event is from 3 to 5 p.m. Just looking for the location.
Almost there.
Let's see.
Inkster Road, Michigan Avenue to Avondale Street and Cherry Hill.
Well, the location, Inkster Road between Michigan Avenue and Avondale Street and Cherry Hill.
Yeah, just for point of clarification, as it relates to this item, if it's on Inkster Road, then we're talking about a county road that the city doesn't have necessarily any jurisdiction over to close.
They're not requesting a street closure.
What are they requesting from us?
They're not requesting anything but permission to do so. So the walk is from 3 p.m. to 5. And
Well, we want to be clear with that though, city clerk, and I apologize to the general public just as it relates to the item itself, but I want to be clear because we did get permission to another group before that was hosting an event at the old Malcolm X grounds at the Brookside Park, and they were under the assumption that they could block off Carlisle once we gave them approval. So I would say that we can approve this with, if it's okay with this body to approve it with just the contingencies of talking to them and making sure that they don't need any road closures. And at the same time, it may not even be anything that we need to approve under our special events policy.
we did ask if they were, we reiterated and asked again if they were requesting a street closure. And the response was no. They have a estimate of attendance of about 25 people.
Okay. So I don't think that this body needs to take that's the case. They're not using the city property.
No, they're not. They're just using a portable microphone and speakers that they're carrying.
Are they asking for assistance from auxiliary?
No,
Police? Yeah.
no.
Okay. So again, it's up to this body as it relates to how you want to move. This is just purposes of discussion and hearing everything that I just said. I think that this item is a point for this body anyway, unless someone sees it different.
Mr. Mayor,
Go ahead, Councilman Chisholm.
if the applicant is on, can we have them speak to the matter just to provide some clarity? Because I see the language says prayer walk, but they're not requesting to shut down anything. Just don't want to, say
Yeah.
we don't need to vote on this, and then we get a call about people in the middle of the street.
Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. I see a person from iPhone has their hand raised, but that's hard for me to determine.
Well, we could always unmute them if that is the applicant, and if it's not, we could just mute them back.
Okay, Councilman, I'll go with you.
Okay.
Mayor, it's me, Jerome.
You want me to mute them back?
It's me.
Oh, boy.
Man, council table this because I'm not clear. And like you said, we had a snafu up there at Carlisle and they closed Carlisle. They didn't inform us that they was going to close Carlisle because I wouldn't have approved that without letting the police and fire know, because that's a major thorough. And if they're doing something on Inkster Road, first of all, it needs to go through the county, not us, because that's a county road. And they're not very, if it's a walk, even if it's 25 people, they gonna spill over into the street. I don't see 25 people walking down there. There's not that type of sidewalk on Inkster Road. So I would table this or hold off until we get clarity from what they're actually doing. Because I don't want to put the city in a trick bag, for a better choice of words.
Thank you, Mr. Bivens. And if the applicant is online, we would like to hear from you. And if you could, Councilman Chisholm, give them the protocols of what they need to do.
Sure, if the applicant is online for the Black Man Prayer Walk, please use the raise hand feature on Zoom if you joined us that way. If you have dialed in by telephone, please use *9 from your handset to raise your hand so that we can recognize you. And I don't see anyone with their hand raised.
All right, then, yeah. If the body wants to, vote on just giving them a permission while the administration go back and talk to them and figure out exactly what they need, then, I'm okay with that versus just removing it all the way around. But it's up to this body.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem.
I think we should remove it until we get further clarification.
Well, the meeting's gonna happen before we meet again. So they'll be on their prayer walk on the 23rd, and we'll be not meeting back again until it looks like. Oh, well, actually, we'll be here the 18th. Yeah, so we'll be here the 18th. So
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm okay with that. So we can table it.
Okay.
We'll be here the 18th. So I'm okay with tabling it. Is there a motion? Motion to table?
There's already a motion on the floor.
The maker of the motion.
You have to retract that motion. Okay, no, make a motion to table this event until further information.
Is there support?
Special event.
Is there support?
Support.
All right, any discussion on that? Hearing none, roll call, please, City Clerk.
Councilman Williams,
What did we clarify?
We're just gonna table, the event is not until October the 23rd. The council will be meeting again October the 18th. So we'll go back and get all the information that we need. If it needs to be voted on at that time, then we'll bring it back up.
Okay, support.
It's already been moved and supported. Roll call, please.
Councilman Williams,
Yeah.
Mayor Pro Tem Howard,
Yes.
Councilman Shaw,
Yes.
Councilman Chisholm,
Yes.
Councilwoman Watley,
Yes,
Councilwoman Washington.
Yes.
Okay, next item,
I'm sorry.
that would be six.
We did get everybody? Okay.
Yes, six.
All right, motion carries.
Yay. Next item is to consider approval to accept bid proposal for emergency lawn mowing services and authorize administration to enter an agreement for said services.
What's your pleasure?
So
So
moved.
moved. Support.
Been moved and properly supported. Before we get off into discussion, let's get Mr. Bivens back on the line to just explain to the general public what's happening here. Mr. Bivens, please.
Good evening, Mayor and Council, to the public. What I am asking for here is that in lieu of us being able to hire grass cutters this year, because none applied, none were available, we took on the responsibility of cutting, but now it's we into our season now of cleaning sewers. And as you guys know, we've had a rash of water main breaks since I fixed the one on Annapolis. We probably had 10 more since then. because our pressure is back where it should be. So we're not able to cut the north side of Michigan Avenue, and it's getting out of hand now. So I put a proposal together with the blessings from the administration, the mayor, and I met with the guys came in for a pre-conference with me, and it was about 6 or 7 of them. So they decided to join forces, and that's what you have before you. So I'm asking you, I had got with the treasurer to see how much money I had left over in temporary services for grass cutting, and we have $25,000 there. That's why I put not to exceed $25,000. And these guys are going to cut that side of town because we've been getting, in the last couple of meetings, we've been getting complaints from Councilman Shaw, Councilman Williams. So I need some help in that area. So what I'm asking for is you allow me to hire these people on this emergency basis. And I did vet them, and they have the necessary equipment to do the job.
Just one clarification.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Councilman.
You saying that they only gonna be cutting on the north side?
That's the whole north side, sir. That's from Beach Daily all the way to Henry Row. So that includes your area.
Well, that's not north. That ain't north. Huh?
I'm sorry, we cut your area. I'm sorry. Part of your area, part of Gina Washington's area, part of Councilman Shaw's area. And I think some of your area, like over there between Middle Belt and Henry Ruff, is that your area down that way?
Yes, sir.
By Cherry Hill?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not Cherry Hill. I'm at Annapolis.
By Cherry Street.
By Cherry Street.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, that area right there. They'll be cutting over there too.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So just to let you guys know too, me and the mayor will be giving them directions and where to go and where to cut. So it will be coming through my office and the mayor's office. So if you got anything, I would ask that you forward it to the mayor's office so he can forward it to me. But that's the area we're gonna be cut. Where I have my temporary grass cutters the last couple of years.
I'd like to add too to that most of the folks that came in to bid for this work are locals.
Oh, yeah.
Matter of fact, all of them are local.
They are locals, Mr. Mayor. I apologize for that. They all live here in this city.
They're our neighbors, our friends, our colleagues that have stepped up and they're willing to help us with this to get our city. We're trying to get it clean. So that's one of the major things going into the winter time. We really want to clean up as much as we possibly can for the fall. Any other questions, Mr. Bivens? Any other questions from the council? Hearing none, roll call, please, City Clerk.
Mute.
Councilman Shaw,
Yes.
Councilman Chisholm,
Yes.
Councilwoman Watley,
Yes.
Councilwoman Washington,
Yes.
Councilman Williams,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Howard.
Yes.
The vote is 6-0.
All right, motion carries. Item number C, please.
Consider approval to sell 2 vacant parcels. The parcels are located on Harrison Street between Elm and Cherry. The persons offering are Bianca Sultan Beatty. And the amount they're offering to buy the properties for $2,500.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Support.
Moved and properly supported. Discussion. Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilman Shaw,
Yes.
Councilman Chisholm,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wiley,
Yes.
Councilwoman Washington,
Yes.
Councilman Williams,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Howard.
Yes.
The vote is 6-0.
Motion carries. Thank you very much, Chief Clerk. All right, this brings us to the agenda item for public participation. We would ask that keep your comments to a minute. Also that you be respectful of this body, respectful of the process. All right, Mr. Councilman Chisholm, if you can give folks the protocol that relates to getting into the meeting.
For those who wish to speak at public participation and joined us by Zoom, please use the raise hand feature so that you are recognized. For those who've joined us by telephone, please use the *9 feature to raise your hand to be recognized. Once you are recognized, please state your name for the record. You have 1 minute to address this body. At this time, Mr. Mayor, we have 3 hands raised. Oh, 4.
All right.
Any specific order?
I'm gonna call them out, but I mean, you already know. Let's do Hassan Ali.
All righty.
Take your name for the record, please.
My name is Hassan Ali.
Okay. All right, moving right along. Octavia Smith, please.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, residents. This is Octavia Smith, resident. Good evening, everyone. Just want to remind everyone that this Wednesday, October the 6th, is the final market day for the Inkster Task Force. Unless it's a rain out, we will reschedule that day, but it's from 4 to 7 p.m. at the Old Chase Building on 27020 Michigan Avenue. And we hope that you are able to attend and come and support the final day of the farmers market. We've enjoyed being out and serving the community, so we hope that you're able to come. And just always, Western Wayne Family Health Center, we are your local health facility right here in the city of Inkster. So if you have dental needs, behavioral health needs, just primary care needs, we are here to service you as well. Finally, the Inkster Chamber of Commerce is closing down on our calendar for this year, for the year 2021-2022 calendar. So if you have not placed your ads, please do that as soon as possible. You can go to inksterchambercalendar@gmail.com. And we have ads as low as $25 all the way up. Again, please support us, and we thank you, and everybody have a great evening.
All right, thank you, Ms. Keene. All right, you have iPhone? Take your name for the record, please.
My name is Shayma Aman.
All right, and what can we do for you?
I'm talking about the matter with Jim Allen and Mr. Blackwell. The fact that he used an Arab woman's name as an alias to send highly inflammatory meme, poking fun at the body of an African-American woman. As an Arab American woman, we've worked really hard to earn our right to fully participate in the public square. By sending this meme using fake Arab female's name, not only does it hold us up for ridicule, but it harms our credibility as a group and makes it more difficult for people to take us seriously. I've known Jim Allen for numerous amount of years, representing the Southeastern American community, especially for Arab American women's rights. So I just wanted to hold this public point of discussion to the fullest and to bring up the matter in a reputable way.
Thank you, ma'am. And Councilman Chisholm, I don't want to botch anybody's name. Can you help me? A-Y-A-D, last name. State your name for the record, please.
Oh, I forgot your ass was in here. You about to.
All right. So let's keep it moving. Aaron Sims, please.
Good day, Mayor, Council. Just wanted to give you guys an update. On September 24th, we had the pleasure of going in front of the historical preservation for the city, for the state of Michigan. And the vote to mark the home of 4336 William Street was unanimous. They agreed to make it into a historical landmark for the state of Michigan. Also, we had the pleasure of being blessed with Malcolm's oldest daughter, Ambassador Shabazz. She graced the meeting with her presence, and she gave a shout out to Inkster for preserving her family's house. And just wanted to give you guys an update on that. So construction should be starting over there soon, within like the next week or two of starting to get the house together before winter. And also just to reiterate on his oldest daughter, we're planning on having them come out so you guys can hear the stories that they talked about as far as when they came back to Michigan and being over at the house from the time period of being born up until the time that their father was murdered, and also his oldest daughter who came back and forth to Michigan to take care of her uncle Wilford while he still lived there before he passed away as well. So it's a win-win for the city as we now have 4336 William Street into the books of a historical landmark.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Sims. Great work. Congratulations.
Yes, sir.
One
Yes, sir.
All right, let's move right along, please.
One last thing. We did get approved for another grant, so we will be doing another press conference over at the house to announce the grant that we got awarded.
All right, keep up the good work. Moving right along. This is part of making Inkster into a tourist destination. We know that along with that the federal government did award some monies to the state as it relates to historical conservation here in the city of Inkster, and they will be looking at other landmarks within the city of Inkster, because Inkster is full of a lot of rich history that needs to be preserved. So I thank you, Mr. Sims, for keeping up that fight. Let's move right along into City Clerk.
Sure. I want to remind everyone that there is an election on November 2nd. And it's a Taylor School bond issue. The electorates in precinct 1, 2, 3, 1, and 3, 2 are encouraged to show up and let your voice be heard. We have absentee ballots available for the residents. We're there from 8:30 to 4 daily. You may come into the office and request a ballot, or you could call us up and request an application for a ballot. But we look forward to seeing you. We're ramped up for this election and are looking forward to it.
All right, thank you, City Clerk, for your continued efforts and for that information. City Treasurer, have anything for everybody? General public?
Yes, monthly budget reports will be out this week. Also, we had an amazing day with Lieutenant Governor Gilchrist and Rashida Tlaib and a host of other very distinguished individuals at the Rec Center. Awesome day today. And then there are also several spots left for the Opportunity Tennis Academy on Saturdays for youth. For those youth that are interested in learning how to play tennis, we have scholarships available for students or for youth to attend those sessions.
All right, and how do they get in touch with?
They can just contact the Rec Center, 734-728-7530.
Thank you very much. Let's also get with Troy and get that onto our social media outlets. We're currently working on a newsletter that will be generating coming from the administration to get out. So the body, I know Troy, Councilman Chisholm, Kim Faison, and Safe Alice and I, they're working on different things to be able to make sure that we're closing the gap and getting all the information out to the community in such a way that, you know, everyone is being accounted for. We've been talking about it for years. I remember being on council in 2009 and we were talking about how we communicate with the general public. So we want to make sure that we close that gap as much as we possibly can. So we will be formulating that here, hopefully within the next 45 days, working with that body of those individuals that I just named. All right, thank you, Mr. Green. Moving into mayor and council communications. Councilman Chisholm, you want to start us off?
Sure. Just thank you, Mr. Chair. Two things. One is I attended a funeral this past week. I heard there were quite a few funerals for people either from Inkster or associated with Inkster, but one of the lifelong members over at Smith Chapel AME, Dr. Jackie Porter, had passed away and they had her funeral. Mother of Tony Dooley and Christian Young. So want to send my condolences out to that family. That was a great big celebration of life. And second, I did attend earlier today the Thriving City tour, as well as visited the constituent services piece down the hall at the rec center. There's a lot of resources there for people who were in need, and it was a great, how you want to put it, outlet or action on behalf of the governor and the lieutenant governor's office by actually bringing the resources from Lansing to Inkster, as well as having the surrounding groups involved too, where you can make an appointment and sit face to face with the people and talk. It's been quite some time since we had some face to face events as such. And it was kind of different to see some of my colleagues from the state capitol right here in my hometown. So I did tell them, welcome to Inkster. But yeah, that was just a different outlook on everything. Other than that, that is all I have.
Thank you, Councilman Chisholm. Councilman Williams?
Yeah, I had several things, Mr. Mayor.
All right.
I'll be real brief. Number one, I'd like to know exactly what's the outcome is on the speed bumps that the block club decided that they wanted to put in, and so we're working with it. Where are we at on that? Also, need to hear from Mr. Bivens, who gave me a part where the pump's supposed to be put in. I'd like to know exactly when are we going to start putting the pump in over there on Andover.
Right. We will definitely, I know that as it relates to with the block club, we've been in constant contact with them and working with.
I can't hardly hear you, Mr. Mayor. Can you talk about this a little bit?
I'm sorry, I said we have been in constant contact with the block club and working with Councilwoman Washington. That's her district and that's her block club that's talking about doing that, along with working with Mr. Bivens, just making sure that we have all our T's crossing our I's dotted, because one of the things was that we were talking about was, you know, the liability in that if, you know, the citizens put in the roadblocks, or I'm sorry, put in the speed bumps, then, you know, who would be, you know, liable for that. So we know that it is a city road. So with Mr. Bivens being the chief person over that, we're just making sure that we do everything that we need to do in order to move it forward. And also too, they had a question as it relates to if we're able to get some money, which we have applied for just different grants as it relates to sidewalks, roads, and infrastructure, along with speed bumps, then will they be reimbursed? So those are just things that we want to make sure that we just clarify in writing before we move along with that. And then, you know, of course, come back to this body with something in writing that basically spells out what's going to happen, because at the end of the day, the council is responsible. So that's
okay.
that.
I just like to close this, Mr. Mayor. I understand that the pilot program was going to be over in Councilwoman Washington's area, but I'm concerned because we also need them in our area. And so I'm just trying to figure how is it going, you know, how is it going and what we actually have to continue to do to get that started.
Oh yeah, we're gonna keep you updated. I mean, we know that that's something that's really exciting, and we know a lot of the citizens have asked about that, and if they can, you know, buy a speed bump here and there. You know, we want to make sure that something's uniform and be able to, you know, have data supporting that. You know what happens when we put them in. So before we even get to that point, we got to make sure that we do our due diligence. So we'll definitely keep you abreast of that.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
You're welcome. And then I'll have Mr. Bivens respond to you as it relates to the IK1.
Okay,
All right. Moving right along, Councilwoman Watley.
yes, Mr. Johnson, hold on.
Okay, Mike, to go or no?
Okay, go.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The first thing I'd like is if I could get a general fund balance. Do we have that amount available? Or would you email that to me and my colleagues? What's the balance in the general fund?
Fund balance, yes, ma'am.
I didn't hear you. You were muffled.
I'm sorry, ma'am. I said yes, ma'am. We'll
Okay.
definitely get that. The treasurer's on the line. We'll make sure that we get that to you.
All right. Also, I would like to know how much money is left in the Parks and Rec budget.
Okay.
And considering the letter we received from the attorney as far as whether or not that money could be spent without council's approval, it's my understanding from the letter, his conclusion that it couldn't be. Now, David's on the line. He could speak to that if he'd like, because I've gotten like 3 or 4 different answers where this money is concerned, and I'd like to solidify it for some, at some point.
Agreed. Attorney Jones? Are you prepared to speak to that?
Yes, my memo was, but I did conclude that it did need council approval, but that was under the assumption that the equipment that was purchased for a team that was not affiliated with Inkster. Shortly after I sent my correspondence, the city treasurer weighed in and indicated that the equipment purchased was City of Inkster equipment. And I responded to that email, if the equipment was City of Inkster equipment and not purchased and given to an outside affiliate organization, the argument could be used is that it is for youth services. So I can't speak to where the equipment is and who owns it, but according to the treasurer, it's Inkster equipment. So that was the exchange that took place several weeks ago.
Okay, in using that particular aspect of it, it was delivered to a person in Dearborn Heights. So we are not in possession of this equipment. That's a question that I'm sure you can't answer at this point, but I'd like to know where the equipment is then.
Yes, I can answer that. We can't house, they're practicing on our fields at our park, and we have a storage facility there, and that's where it's stored.
Okay, but I have information that it was delivered to someone named Ray, someone in Dearborn Heights.
No, that's our equipment, and it's delivered to it's stored at the park, in the facility at the park. That's where it is now. You can go there and take a look. It's there.
Okay, this football equipment says the Buccaneers. So that means this is the only team that will be able to use this this communal equipment.
There's only one team in Inkster right now.
No, you're wrong about that. We don't have a football team. That is an outside entity. And the quicker we stop letting people believe that we have a football team, the better it will be when this is finally solved. Okay, that's all I have.
And just to that point though, Councilwoman Wiley, what is it that you're looking for as it relates to resolution? Because we do have.
I want that money put back in the Parks and Rec budget because it wasn't supposed to be, was supposed to be spent for programs. I've been saying that for weeks now, but people seem to say that if you just say, well, we did this and we did that and we can do it. I mean, the treasurer said last week, as long as he doesn't go over his budget, he doesn't have to report expenditures to council. Can you tell him that's not true? Anything over $5,000 needs to come before council.
That's not true. For the charter.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm talking about the purchasing policy. Maybe y'all ought to read up on that.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to get to the bottom of what it is that you would like to see happen, because we do have an agreement with the football team as it relates to the Inkster Buccaneers being under the youth program services for Parks and Rec. So just so we're all on the same page, we're just trying to help with our services within this community for our kids. I know that each one of you have said on council, have at one point or the other, went into your own pockets to support our teams, our youth services within this community. This was nothing malicious or anything that we're trying to hide. So I want to make sure that, you know, whatever it is that we can do to help resolve this, that we do that. So whatever documentation you need, we'll bring that forth. We do have an agreement with the team as it relates to the equipment, City of Inkster's equipment. Once it's the actual football team the season is up, we're gonna take an inventory of the equipment and put it back into storage for next season for the kids. So you just let me know what you want to see have happen here. We can move forward with that.
And I reiterate, I want that money to go back in the Parks and Rec's budget.
What would you like to be done with it, though? You said, so how would
To
you like?
use it for programs. So far, the only programs we have are that money has been spent on, and the treasurer said this at the last meeting. The only money that's been spent has been on a football team that I say that something had to be done to make it an Inkster team that had to include the government of Inkster, which includes the council. And I don't remember ever passing anything for the Buccaneers football team. And I've been here maybe a few years now. So where all this came from,
would you be willing to pass something adopting the Buccaneers team if they're willing?
I would be willing to hear the truth.
I don't understand what you're talking.
I'm saying that you cannot take
So I'm just saying,
taxpayer dollars
that's not
and spend it on one specific entity without some sort of approval or something. You can't just arbitrarily decide these
You
things.
can arbitrarily do it, and the attorney just spoke to that. So it's in the budget as it relates to the program. So, and it's not that we're just spending money.
Okay, thank you, Mayor.
Okay, I just want to make sure I'm doing.
There's nothing sure. This isn't resolved. I'm just knowing I'm not getting anywhere, so I'm stopping.
Okay, all right, then we'll move right along. Councilman Shaw?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I just have a few things that I wanted to get on to the record. The kids are back in school, so I just want to encourage all the residents to, watch out for our kids. The time is getting ready to turn back, and, it's going to be dark when the kids are out there on the bus stops and what have you. So let's watch out for our kids out there as they move about throughout this school year, going back and forth to the bus stop and going home. Let's keep our eyes and ears open for them. Also, road patrol on Hazelwood. I would like, some pressure to be put on that street, Mr. Chair, on Hazelwood there.
Okay.
And also, I want to speak to the resident, if you have addresses that cannot be seen, I will encourage you to get bigger addresses or make sure that your addresses are seen. So when the first responders or police officers are coming through and you have call for services, that they can see your addresses very clearly so they can respond to you quicker. And I just want to put out some well wishes or some goodwill to the Code Enforcement Department, Sergeant Wall, for her efforts in getting some properties that I had in the district boarded up. I want to say thank you to her. And also I want to say thank you to Daryl Davis and his crew from DPS. They've been working hard and diligently out there doing the water main breaks. And I was teasing Daryl when I saw him in the neighborhood. We had a couple water main breaks in the district that he always had some mud on his boots. So I was just teasing him with that. But I just want to encourage our residents, as you see these men and women out there give them a thumbs up, blow your horn, give them a thumbs up, let them know that you support them because they're out there and they're trying to do what they can with what they have, and they're doing a great job at that. Give them a bottle of water or something, just to let them know that you support them. So I just want to say, Mr. Mayor, thank Mr. Davis and his crew from DPS. And also, I want to thank the participants that came out to our district advisory board meeting that we had. And I just want to encourage the residents that's in the district that you can reach out to me at dshaw@thecityofinkster.com so that you can get onto my email list so we can send out some updates on when our next meeting is going to transpire. And Mr. Chair, I do want to try to get that onto the city's website if it's okay with my colleagues. And let me see what else I have here. Looks like that's all I have, Mr. Chair.
All right, sir.
And I want to make sure, I hope I spoke that clearly to Miss Chapman that I didn't want to have too much on there, Miss Chapman.
All right, thank you, Councilman Shaw. Councilman Washington?
I would also like to echo the sentiments of my colleague in the passing of Dr. Jacqueline Porter. Also, I was able to attend 2 different events today. Governor Gretchen Whitmer had a constituent service on a road event where they were able to assist constituents in multiple issues. Michigan Works was there along with Wayne Metro and also Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib. Along with also Garland Gilchrist came out today for Thriving Cities. So those 2 events went very well. Last thing that I have, I would also like to follow up in regards to Middle Park Manor Block Club's request in recommendations on the appropriate speed bumps along with the speed humps on the residential streets and what companies could actually handle the installation. I know that we are in talks right now in regards to who the litigation part of it, of who would be responsible if something happened. So I just wanted to actually put that out there as well.
All right, thank you,
So
Councilman.
that's all I have for tonight.
All right, thank you, Councilwoman Washington. Mayor Pro Tem Howard?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I know I asked about Plant Moran's duties, and I also asked whether or not, my question tonight is, are they doing any other duties outside of their scope of service that would come to us? Because I know the state paid for it and it was over in June or July. So are they doing any outside scope of service than what's in the contract for them to do?
And you were referring to Plant Moran?
Yes.
Yeah, no, they're not. So once that was up, they did email us saying that, they wouldn't necessarily be taking any other duties. Unless, of course, we would, adjust the contract.
My next question is, I do know coming up, and one of them is Nurse Express. The contract should be coming up for renewal. I'm not sure.
What contract is that?
Nurse Express.
Yes, they should, I think it's in December. It's quite a few contracts that'll be coming up, so they will be taking a look at. Speak, I'm sorry, man.
I'm sorry, I know the treasurer spoke on our reports that we're gonna get. I'm wondering if we're gonna get the report that I sent him, because the last 2 months reports we had, it's been over 100 pages long. That's not the right report that we're looking at. So I did send him an email of the reports that we used to get back last year or the first of this year. So hopefully when we get our reports, it'll be like that, because 100 pages is a lot of pages and we don't need all of that. My next question is monthly reports for each department. We have not been getting those. And I would like to see the dollar amount of each department is Parks and Recs. I would like to see how much money they're making as far as banquets, parties. I would like to see that included in the monthly report, as well as the building department in our monthly report, because we have not yet. My last question, statement in regards to I think that should have come to council. We do not have a football team. My question to the treasurer, do we have a exercise room in there for residents?
Yes, we have an exercise room, and right now they're going to be doing some renovating in that room. They're going to be renovating a lot of the areas in the rec, and that's one of them.
Okay, so now when they talk about the millage money, the millage money would cover like exercise machines that's stationed in Parks and Recs. So I'm thinking, I have a lot of complaints on where this money was spent. I think maybe council should be aware of what you're looking at when the budget is approved and have questions on that, because if I'm guaranteeing probably it may not have been approved if administration had said, well, this $40,000 is to buy uniforms. It was just programming. Programming still has nothing to do with buying uniforms. And I also got a lot of calls saying that when the millage comes due to renew it, they're not going to do it because they're not going to spend their money on that. That's my sentiments in that, but I think it was wrong. But I urge my colleagues to call each municipality, some municipalities, and find out if any municipality have done this in their parks and recs. I urge my colleagues to make those phone calls to see, because our budget is not good. And I'm not sure, can we justify doing that when the budget is really not that good? And my last statement is, I did email administration asking when was Plant Moran going to come to the council and give us an update on our finances. It's been 3 months. So I know we did request them to come every 3 months to give us an update. So can you tell me when they will be giving us an update?
I don't know if you were on that email. Well, you were on that email because it was addressed to you, Mayor Pro Tem Howard, when Brian from Plant Moran responded back as it relates to we're going through the audit right now. So we will be back before this body at the beginning of the year. And understand this is something as a former council person that I realized that it was something that we needed to do. This is nothing that Plant Moran had done in the past with the previous administration or the administration before that. Plant Moran has been around for 12 years. So when I came into on this position, I've been having Plant Moran be very intricate in putting forth our finances because I understand what's going on with the finance. The millage for the Parks and Rec department is something that's totally different from the general fund budget. So those people that's complaining, those complaints can come before this body or they can talk to me directly. And I know that you're their representative. So it's good to hear that. At the same time, we're just trying to move this community forward for the kids and for our families and for our future. So, let's figure out how we work together. I don't, I'm not trying to be adversarial. At the same time, it's important for us to, it's like a policing or a aha, I caught you type of moment every single time we get on the council meeting. Come into the office, let's talk. Pick up the phone, let's talk. I'm not opposed to any of that. I'm just here to try to serve the community the best way we can by moving our community forward. Not looking like that we're always at odds and against each other. The budget was approved for the rec complex and programming as it relates to youth programming. It has never been any money in that line item. We created that line item. So it's money that's still left over. So we will report that out not only to the council, but also to the general public as well. and of course, the Parks and Rec Commission. So we're here to work together and move our community forward. So Plant Moran, again, because when I came into office, and they told me, and they'll come before this body, and they told you when they presented to us the first year when it came, that it's the request of the mayor to come out and to be a part. And I want them to be a part because, of course, we pay them, and they should be telling us what they're doing and how everything is lining up. But all of that stuff is administered through our treasurer. And our treasurer is here every day. If you have any questions for him, any reports that you may need, we're gonna make sure that we get those to you in the format that you're requesting, because we want you to have that information. So I heard everything that you said, Mayor Pro Tem
And
Howard.
I just have one more, I have one more thing. I want you to, what about those kids who does not play football? Okay, that's not, well, hold up, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm urging my colleagues to go into other communities and find out, have they ever done this? Because this has never been done. And when they say, no, well, hold up. When you say that this has been done before, per the treasurer, we brought other stuff, this has not been done before. And I'm wondering about the other kids that these people are paying taxes on that millage, that they cannot utilize stuff because there's nothing there. That's what I'm saying.
It's money in that. It's money in the line item still, Mayor Pro Tem Howard.
I'm not saying that the money, $28,000 is a lot, and you might have done more, but I can't get these reports to find out.
Well, you will get
but what I'm saying is, you explain, since the millage is supposed to be for the kids throughout the city of Inkster, explain to the other kids, what are their parents paying for millage, and they can't come up there and do anything.
Mayor Pro Tem Howard, since we've had the millage, no money has ever been classified for youth programming ever since the millage.
And I understand that, but youth programming is for all the kids in the city of Inkster to utilize. All the kids in the city of Inkster cannot utilize football if they don't play it. So I think that's very unfortunate that management chose to do that. But I'm not going to argue with you on that. Okay, so next thing, my next question, and I'm done. When you talk about the audit, everybody knows the audit was coming. Stuff does not stop because the audit. And I understand Plant Moran is a lot involved, but at the same time, we are asking for Plant Moran to come in and give us something on our finances. We probably should have a budget amendment coming up. Where is that?
You typically get your budget amendments at the beginning of the year, ma'am. You've been on council long enough to know that.
No, we don't. Okay. I'm done.
Thank you. All right. I just wanted to, again, echo a couple of my other colleagues as it relates to the information that was shared with us today by Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist as it relates to thriving cities. I just wanted to say to Lieutenant Governor Gilchrist, thank you so much for the commitment and the follow-up. We're looking forward to working with the Lieutenant Governor, of course, and our governor of this great state to make sure that all of those services and the monies that's coming from the federal government through the state of Michigan makes it here to the city of Inkster. So know that we're working diligently to do that. The other thing is Wayne County does have some money right now for rental assistance and utility assistance. If you need assistance paying your rent, whether you're a landlord or of course you're a renter, you can get help from Wayne County. Also to paying the utility bills. Go to waynecounty.com or just, waynecounty.com. I don't have a number for them. If anybody has a number for them, if you could please share that with us in the chat box. And lastly, for me, I get a lot of calls about unfinished work as it relates to mains that's been broken in the city of Inkster on the streets, and then also to lead service lines that have been repaired. And folks, said to me, Mayor Wimberly, the DPW came out or the contractor came out and they didn't finish the work. Where they're not finished, we do notifications as it relates to getting all that information out. We're going to make sure that we do a better job at that and letting people know from start to finish how the process looks. But just for the general public, if we came in and we replaced the lead service line, we will be coming back to make sure that we repair that, what we tore up. As it relates to the street themselves, we do have a lot of main breaks that have been happening because of the repair and the pressure. Some of the best pressure that we've had in the city of Inkster in a long time. But at the same time, we do have old pipes, and those pipes are busting at an alarming rate. So we're trying to stay on top of it with the limited services and resources that we do have. I just want to thank Director Bivens and Superintendent Latoya Joyce and Supervisor Durrell Davis for all the work that they continue to do with their team. They've been really stretched in and they've been working really hard. So I just want to say publicly, keep up the good work. And just like Councilman Shaw said, to the general public, when you see them out in the streets, give them a thumbs up, give them a pat on the back, because they work hard for us and they work a long amount of hours. All right, with that being said, I'll make sure that I follow up with the council on the requests that you've asked for. If I don't follow up, please don't hesitate. Just give me a call, give me a text, shoot it to the city clerk, because we want to make sure that we follow up. We get busy, just like anyone else, and we have, we're limited as it relates to our resources, but we definitely want to make sure that we're following up and being responsive to any questions or any issues that you may have that's outstanding. As it relates to, finally, as it relates to the just the overall city, we just want to make sure that we're staying safe to the best of our ability, that we're working with one another. Block clubs are stepping up all over the community, and new block clubs are forming. We want to do everything that we can do as a city to support that. And we need all eyes within our community all over the place. We need to hear from you. If you have any information for us, don't hesitate to call the anonymous number with Inkster Police Department. Also, to call us directly if you need to. I know that your council person would love to hear from you. I know that I would love to hear from you as it relates to any information to help us keep our city safe, clean, and accessible. With that being said, motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
For support.
Support.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, everybody else can stay. Have a wonderful rest. Have a wonderful rest of your evening and your week. Thank you.